into a Group B qualifying match. They just keep coming back. They just keep coming. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, we have the Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. I believe Trigger went down to Rogue earlier in this bracket. He got knocked down to lower brackets. This is a lower bracket match. Remember, the winner of this series will advance on into the main event. The loser of this series will be knocked down to that last chance qualifier to join players like Zhao. Right, Zhao is also there. Oh boy. So we are delving into our final matches. Here we go as we have our fresh best of 3. From here, we're going to be moving out. When it comes to Cure's previous series against Classic, we were very mid to late game oriented. Cure actually did not go for a single 2-base all-in. He was very much so trying to turtle up and defend and build up into a longer game. And he held his own against Classic. Did hold his own, but did fall in the end. We'll see how Trigger does adjust. We'll see how he does adapt. From here we are opening up. From here, Curie does open up with a much more tech-heavy start. So, sorry, it's just time to lock in, baby, time to lock in. It's just been a long broadcast day. When it comes to opener, double gas opener. Now, if you recall, against a Classic, we saw non-stop double gas openers as well. This can lead into early mine drops. It can lead into reactive Reaper Hellion, can lead into early cyclones. We have confirmation, double gas into mine drop play. Okay, so it's going to be committed mine drop here with what, 2 to 3 winter mines. This was designed to scout, and also we'll see if we can find some damage as well. Until then, the Reaper pokes in. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener at a Trigger. Does open Twilight Council. Does open Twilight Council, does open into Blink. So far, actually, Gateway is going to be thrown down. The real question becomes, how many gates? So far, we have 2. So 2 gate Blink at a Trigger. This could just be 2 gate Blink into a 3rd base, into a greedy build. Otherwise, we would play a little bit safer, and there it is, a 3rd gateway. So 3 gate Blink. Very safe play here by Trigger, going up to 3 gateways and a Robo, and the shield batteries as well. Very secure. There's no battery in the main base, but against no Hellion Reaper, like, we don't really need it. Here comes that committed mine drop, 3 winter mines into the main. We'll see if Trigger can keep up. We'll see if he can keep up. Mine drop moves in. And Trigger, he does react. Does pull away. From here, so far, so good. Oh. Cure saving all the winter mines here, okay. Does pull away too. 1 winter mine is going to go down. At the same time, Reaper into the natural. Does get a full scout, does confirm the gateways. So that Classic is fully, sorry, Cure is fully aware that it's going to be a 3-gate Blink build. And he saves 2 mines, ready to go in once again. So not bad. No major economic damage, but at least does keep the winter mines alive to go in for a later drop. Back at home, we have our 3-1-1 setup, safety tank production, securing ourselves on 2 bases. Very safe setup, very secure. With that is safe, is secure. Oof. Mine drop popping off, catching out 2 probes. So by catching out 2 probes, we can see Trigger likewise building up in towards Colossus. So 3 gate playing into the Robo, into a 3rd base, into Colossus production. So far, very safe and standard build here from Trigger. Nothing crazy, just building up into the mid game. I guess the one big thing that we can take note of here is actually we're going for the Bay before charge, and there's no Forge. So late Forge, late +1, later charge in favor of earlier Colossus. This is just meant to be safer though. Just for faster Colossi. It also means that Trigger can't be as aggressive. So we're just taking a slower approach. Meanwhile, Observer does scout the 3rd CC. And we're easing our way into a longer game. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. We're just slowing things down into a macro game. Claiming our 3rd bases, eventually into 4 Nexus. Now, what I will say very quickly here, I did mention that like going for the fast Colossus is safer. That is true, but this also does mean that Trigger is going to have a triple Colossus timing. Like because the Colossus count is so fast, we can have 1, 2, 3 Colossi quite quickly. And Trigger, he may make use of that. Maybe able to make use of it. Does fight for map control. Just zoning each other away. So far they do zone. Well, still amassing. And from here, we can just get to a proper 3 base saturation. That's why we mentioned earlier that Trigger should be expanding. Oh, we'll just hard in towards the main. What happened to the mine drop? Made it hit. Okay. Never mind. Or was cleaned up. Yeah, it was cleaned up in the end. Raven taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. There's that 4th base for Trigger. And this is where the map can come into play here. The accessibility here, the 3rd base is, I mean, it's quite open. It's quite open, the entrance into the 3rd. Trigger does poke in. Remember, he has the extra Colossus. But he's moving into 3 siege tanks. Yeah, Cure, he is solid. Or he sims in. Oh no! Ah, he sims in, he gets a Colossus. Massive pickup, that should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Trigger, he wasn't attentive. He didn't notice that his Colossus kind of veered forward. And he has to get the hell out of here. And what's brutal is that was the whole point of the build, is the fast Colossus production. So the first Colossus gets thrown away. Trigger, he's in danger. Remember, he sacrificed, he delayed his own upgrades for this. Ay, ay, ay. So a very shaky start. Very shaky here for Trigger. To lose what was meant to be his advantage. With that, he pulls away, working towards Storm, rebuilding his Colossus. So he's trying to move out, trying to be active. And Zelte wander in. A 4 friendly fire, 4 SV kills, not bad. So far, not bad. 12 drop, keeping Trigger busy. 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 12 drop, keeping Trigger Once again, as we mentioned before, based on the build the Trigger went for, it's just very passive. It's very passive. Building out more storms, second robo is on the way, 5th expansion as well. Curie's been fine. Like, he's Curie's been left alone throughout this entire game. Getting his 4th. Maxing out. It's not often that you see this, but the Terran player is going to be able to max out faster than the Protoss. No boy. He's almost there. Kira now is maxed with Vikings, now with Ghosts. And Trigger has been struggling here. Hasn't achieved too much. Now, what I will say is that Trigger, he has a massive High Templar count. How many High Templar? 8. 8 Templar, that's a lot of storms. Now, as long as Trigger can avoid the EMPs, if he can avoid the EMPs, if he does not stack up his High Templar, then he can pop up with those storms. Speaking of, first 2 storms. 2 storms to land, another 2. EMP does graze the army, but not with the High Templar. And the CC is denied. Does force a cancel. There's still 8 Templar remaining. There's still plenty of storms. That is 6. 6 High Templar. Blinks in. Yeah, blinks into the concave. More storms coming in. We have, what, 3 more storms? It's a lot of storms, Pappy. True. Storms are mainly zoning. 7 SCV kills. We're moving further in. Cure biding his time. He steps in. Yeah, he goes for it. Just try to. We're out of storms. Wow, we're out of storms. No storms left. EMP connects. Down on 1 Colossus. 1 more volley. Uno más. Oh my god. It barely doesn't have the Viking counts. As 1 more shot goes up, Colossus goes down. A messy defensive for Cure. I mean, just messy all around. Messy all around. As Cure, he does hold on. But Trigger, he has a bank. He has a bank. He has all these bases. He can back off. He can rebuild. And remember, Cure, he was denied his 4th base. He was denied the 4th CC. Something that is a concern, though, is that Trigger, he's down to only 2 High Templar. Remember, he had 8 High Templar earlier. Now down to 2. He rotates, does get a tank. Tank goes down, gets 1, gets 2. Very nice. 2 tanks do full. Getting messy here. EMP connects, very nice EMP. As Trigger instead, he transitioned to a massive mortal count. Interesting. Massive mortal can do well against Marauders. So he'll bleed out 1 immortal. Trigger, he will win in the head-on fight. Cure, he has to respect it. Oof. Has to respect the immortals. Prism gets called out. Cure defends. Cure, he's holding. He's holding on, he's maintaining now his 4th, it's up and running, 5th expansion's on the way, 5th CC. And Trigger, his earlier push was meant to kill. That was meant to kill. Hasn't quite pulled it off. Cure doesn't see the army. Uh-oh. Cure steps in, does take a storm to the face. Storm lands, Colossus exposed. Oh, Curie's gonna get surrounded. GSL's coming from behind, and without getting some of the ghosts. The ghosts! Can he get them? Salted trying. Yeah, they're trying to move in, but again, Curie, he will kite back. He saves the ghosts. Chasing down the army, and Trigger, he bleeds out too much. He bleeds out too much. That was meant to kill. That was meant to get a full surround and catch out all the ghosts, but he fails to do so. Curie's made his way across the map. Trigger taking some of Cure's bases, but it may not matter. It may not matter here. Cure has too much. And with that, he has too much. He breaks the expansion. Pushing on through. We have built up to 3 Colossus. We're getting plenty of Vikings. 8 Vikings. Holy goes up. Colossus goes down to 2. Down to 2. And is there enough bio here? The Colossus does dish out a lot of damage. But the final Colossus falls. No more splash damage here. The Ghost, they miss rally. No. They miss rally into the army. But Curie, he can afford to make those mistakes. It's fine. He still has momentum. Still has a larger force. And his eyes are settled on bottom left. A sudden expansion. Start stepping in. It's been just a difficult hold here for a Trigger. So let's get him some of the ghosts. Couple of ghosts go down. Thankfully, Curie didn't land his Vikings. He still maintains a high Viking count. He still has the answer to the Colossus. He has the answer. Oh. As the Colossus is going to go down. Likewise, Storms are coming in. Storm doesn't quite connect. Nice hold position micro. And Trigger is still struggling. Still struggling to maintain himself. Cure getting a 5th expansion. Planetary is now done. Mass Mule Hammer on the Planetary. Ay. And Trigger, he had a couple of nice moments this game, but for the most part, he was never able to really gain any momentum against Cure. Didn't quite get there. Yeah, not quite. Trigger trying to move in. Does try to push forward. Getting punished by the snipes. From here he gets punished. Gonna be zoned away. The Celtics trying to come in for this round. I appreciate the flank here, but the supply just isn't there. Yeah, it doesn't have the army supply to work with. Mass EMP on the Stalkers. Getting us up with the Colossus. And Curie finally has enough. Oh my god, the Colossus swipes. Jesus. The lasers, man. The catch at the bio, despite that, Colossus barely survives. Barely holding on. Trigger, he's trying badly. Again, nice target firing on the Vikings. Despite that, it actually barely keeps the Colossus alive, but it's not enough. Yeah, finally Curie breaks through the main army, takes down 2 Colossus as well. There's 1 Colossus left. And again, Trigger's been fighting for his life for the past, what, like 5 minutes? Where Trigger's had the deficit. But GG gets called. GG gets called, just becomes too much. And Cure, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure, he'll take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can close it out here and now. We'll see if Trigger can bounce back. Once again, winding it back, Trigger, he went for a very kind of like passive, defensive, safe build, but he got shut down early on, losing the first Colossus, so he lost momentum, he lost map control, and again, for the majority of that game, we saw that Cure, he was able to maintain map control himself and just bully Trigger back. Couldn't quite kill, but Trigger never really had momentum himself. Like, he wasn't quite able to build back up. Not after losing the Colossus, not after losing all the High Templar as well. Referring to the main push, like the best moment for Trigger was when he pushed out with 8 High Templar. He had so many storms, but he failed to kill Cure. And after that failure, or after that fight went poorly, after it went to Ryan, after Cure held, he just took it from there. But let's go. Let us go. We're jumping to game 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner. Top right hand corner here of Tourmaline, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Basilisk. Get down in the series. Can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let's go. I do apologize, by the way, if I was throwing my words a little bit in that last game. It's just the fatigue is catching up. Bearing in mind that we were live earlier this morning with the RSL qualifiers. We had the RSL American server qualifier a couple of hours ago. And that led straight into now the GSL qualifiers, and it's been just non-stop back-to-back matches, so a little bit fatigued, a little bit. So I do apologize. It's all good. I've got my agüita, got my water. We'll be okay. For those that are curious, our goal is to wrap up and to catch up with all of the qualifying matches. Specifically, and we're almost done. We have one more qualifying match left, which is going to be a best of 3 between Shin and Bunny, and then we can go over the matches, then we can catch up on the group stage, on the brackets themselves. Unfortunately, there were some series that we weren't able to cover that we just didn't get the replays for, specifically Hero versus Rogue, and likewise their opposing series as well. Secure does move out. Likewise, once again, it is going to be a double gas open out of Cure. We've seen this now every TvP of today's broadcast with Cure. Double gas into a faster factory. Last game, this led into a triple mine drop across the map, which didn't really achieve too much damage. Just scouted, just distracted more than anything. We'll see if Cure can make up for that this time, as it is the same build, triple mine. So it's going to be a triple with a mine drop. CC on the high ground, checking Trigger's vision. Trigger, he does get eyes on the CC, so he knows it is a delayed command center. Trigger, he should be reacting with a bit of a safer start. There we go, battery here on the low ground, into 3 gateways. So Twilight Council blink into the safety robo. From here we are getting extra gateways. So again, 3 gate blink, safe play here by Trigger, same build, just same build 2 games in a row out of our Protoss player. Here comes that. Oh, my apologies, I thought it was double mine. Sorry, I thought it was triple mine drop. It's going to be double. 2 auto mines are moving out. This time we go for an earlier add-on. So less committed by Cure. It is an adjustment and it is more efficient this time. Nowhere near as dedicated as game 1. So auto mines they drop in. Trigger does react, pulls away, observers in position, and Widow Mines will be denied. So clean defense here by Trigger. Thankfully this time Cure didn't invest anywhere near as much. So he can calm down. And behind this, Cure is building up into his bio. He's building up. From here, Trigger, he's gaining map control. It's going to be up to Trigger to contain his opponents. Behind this, working towards, once again, the Bay into Colossus. And once again, this is a Bay before even Blink is done, and before Charge begins, and before the Forge. Fun fact, if you're curious about the games themselves, this is the same build 2 games in a row for Trigger. Technically, it's a slightly faster Bather, slightly faster than last game. But overall, the same kind of trajectory into earlier Colossus, into delayed upgrades. It does mean that it's a bit of a more passive style. It's a little more passive, a little more defensive. The advantage is that you're able to build up into a fast 1, 2, and 3 Colossus. That is true. But if you remember, last game, Trigger did a miscontrol and he lost his first Colossus very quickly. That was a bit of a blunder in game 1. This time, we should be seeing Trigger tighten up. Meanwhile, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a smaller map of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground, more open bases here at the 3rd, natural, and the 4th, and the 5th base. Like, it's just a very, very open map. It does make it more difficult to be defensive on this map. Not impossible, though. Like, I was very impressed by Cura's play against Classic earlier in the previous qualifying match. I was shocked to see Cura just turtle up and just shut Classic down on this map, and we could see something very similar here. Just hyper defensive play, waiting for Trigger to move in. Which means we might be in for another longer one, for sure. Oh boy. Let's go, baby, let's go. As for now, we are securing ourselves. Likewise, Cure does move out with his own double drop. It's being active. He's shocking around. Trigger, and now he's got his 2 Colossus into the Prism, into a 3rd Colossi, into a 4th expansion. As we mentioned, just very like passive mid game here from Trigger, just like last time. Once the prism does pop out, then we can start to push. Catching at the army. Picks up a couple of Marines. Likewise, here come the Warpins. So Trigger, he's committing again. He's got his first 2 Colossus. Moving into the tanks, he gets 1. Yeah, 1 tank goes down, 2nd tank as well. Cure, he's out in the open. He should not be out here. Yeah, he should not be here, and Cure gets punished. Trigger going for the kill. Going for the throat. And unlike last time, Ian Trigger is able to maintain his Colossus, catching up the army, catching out all the tanks, and he might just snowball out of control here and now. Here come extra Warpins. And Curie cannot keep up. Not anymore. Not after losing all those tanks. Curie abandons his 3rd. SCV being chased down. Again, Cure, he's hurting. Ooh, the flanking Raven though, okay. Does land the armor shred. Boys are being pulled. It's one big moment here for Cure. Can he break out? Can he defend? Can he survive? Okay, order starts from behind. Stutter steps in. Ooh, doesn't get the Colossus. Yeah, does not get it. Nice juggling here. Nice control by Trigger. He does punish the SCVs. 16 SCVs going down. And Trigger should be fine. Yeah, Trigger, he just bullies the army. He bullies back. Ay, ay, ay. More zealots, more charge lots. Colossus just free swipes here on the army. Vikings collapsing in. They get 1. They barely get 1 Colossus here. They might get all 3, but even then it's going to cost Cure so much. Looks like the final Colossus falls, but what about the ground army? It's non-existent. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. And Trigger has done it. Trigger, he breaks the main force, takes down all the army. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to game number 3 here. Again, winding it back, it was the same build. Same build 2 games in a row, but this time Trigger didn't lose the Colossus. He didn't lose that first Colossus, so Trigger, he was able to hit with that 2 Colossus timing. Not just that, Cure, he was out in the open. Cure, it was very, very odd, but Cure, he was outside of his natural, he was outside of his 3rd, he was out in the open with his tanks. He got completely shut down. He was caught with his pants down. GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. Let's go. And again, the winner of the series will advance on into the main event, into GSL. And there we go, spawning. Spawning in the right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Basilisk, tying up the series and forcing the ace match. It is Trigger. Here we go. There we go, and spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Oh, let us go. So we are jumping into our next game, jumping into the final game of the series. It all ends here. It all ends on White Rabbits. The winner of this matchup will be able to advance on into GSL. And again, Cure is favored. Cure, he's favored to make it through. He's straight up one of the best Terran players in the world. He's top 3, sometimes even top 2, sometimes even top 1. But he's up there alongside Clem and alongside Maru. Cure, he does stand alongside them. And alas, here, we'll see if he can get past Trigger. We'll see. Once again, double gas. Double gas opener once again is going for a faster factory. We have been seeing Cure vary things up here when it comes to early Cyclone, when it comes to Widowmine play. We'll see what it is this time. Show us what you got. As from here, Curry setting up. There's that faster factory. Building on up. Likewise, we're expecting the same build. I mean, Trigger is going for the same build 2 games in a row, and we're expecting the same thing here. We're expecting Twilight Council into Blink, into Robo, into 3-gate Blink, into a faster Bay, into faster Colossus. We'll see if Trigger does mix it up. I'm hoping he does. Hopeful, baby, hopeful. Meanwhile, when it comes to our coverage here, just because there have been so many matches, we do still have one more series after this. We still have a qualifying match between Shin and Bunny. It's going to be a ZVZ qualifying match. After that, we'll be going through all the entirety of the bracket, so we can just have a grander look at what has been going on, of course, in all the matches. And then we'll be having a look at the round 2 series. We'll be explaining it all, of course. But I don't think we'll be casting any of round 2, just because it's been a pretty intense broadcast and an intense day of StarCraft already. We'll at least be covering the bracket though, as in going over the matches. Just as a heads up. For now though. Ooh, okay, this time we have no winner mines. For the past 2 games, there's been mine drop play, Hellion opener into a later mine, so we're not building up into any kind of heavy mine drop play. Gonna be lighter. We do begin with Reaper Hellion. Oh, very nice force field. Oh my, Trigger! Calm down. He locks him in. Yeah, locks him in. That's gonna be 2 Reapers and a Hellion falling for what? For nothing. 0 probes. 0 probe kills. Very nice defense. The Trigger punishes the opener, and Cure, the onus is now on Cure to recover. He is going for the second winner mine into a mine drop play, but remember, did invest early on into the Reaper Hellion, and so far has not been worth it. He might get 1. He gets 1. 1 probe. 1 probe for how much? For 3 Reapers and a Hellion. Not worth it. Not worth it for Cure. Does have to pull away. Does pull away from here. Behind this, we have our bio follow-up. Building up into Sim, into combat shields. Curious to see if we do get the tech up in the factory anytime soon. As it looks like Cure, he might be skipping tank production. Okay, interesting. We saw this once from Cure against Classic. So it's skipping tanks. Bold move. You can see here even going for the Atom Swap on the racks. So earlier stim, earlier combat shields. This does mean that Kira's defensive position is going to be that much weaker, but he will have more Marauders to make up for it. And faster upgrades as well. So there's a bit of a give and take. Weaker defense from Kira, but stronger offense. Meanwhile, Blink is done. Blink is now complete. It's 3-gate Blink into a Robo, into a third, into the Colossus. There's that Bay once again. Once again, as we mentioned, this is a slightly different variation, but for the most part, the same build 3 games in a row. I say slightly different because this time it's going to be the Bay after Blink finishes, not before. So like slight variations, slight adjustments here and there. So once again, the power of this build does mean earlier Colossus, and it does mean a faster 1, 2, and 3 Colossus timing attack. Which Trigger did hit last game. And he tried to in game 1 as well. Did attempt to. Meanwhile, the observers over the production. Trigger is fully aware that it's going to be a heavier Marauder count. More Marauders than usual. Ooh, Mind Drop comes in. Catching out 3 probes. 7 in total. Jesus. Seven probes going down. Kira making up for his early game. True. Does make up for it. Does make up. I guess breaks in. Just trying to engage ahead of time. Doesn't quite get any Marines. Bearing in mind that Curie's getting his 3rd CC. Remember, he's not all in, but he does have a heavy bio army. He can hold his own. Nice spin control. Trigger pulls away, doesn't lose anything. Okay, so we go 1, soon to be 2 Colossus. This should lead into War Prism, into a move out. Into a push. No, my apologies. I mean, it makes sense because he does confirm the heavier bio counts. We do have a 3rd Colossus. Yeah, 3rd Colossus on the way. No Prism. And no War Prism this time. Trigger taking a greater defensive stance. Going for his own 4th expansion. Engaging in the center of the map. Gotta be careful. Does have to be careful here. Poking in. Oh. Does try to poke in. He's holding on. And Tricky pokes, he prods. Prism is now on the way, so he can now start to reinforce. Outside of that, as we mentioned, Trigger, he doesn't really intend to commit and to try to commit into a big major engagement. I say that. He has to be careful. I guess a couple of swipes off. Vikings, they do punish. And we're just committing in. Okay, he's going for it. Okay, it does go for the dive. 3rd Colossus has arrived. 1 Colossus goes down. But there are no more Vikings. Yeah, no more Vikings. Do we have enough Marauders? Kira trying to bust on through. And he gets 1 more. Yeah, he gets 1 more Colossus down to 1. Only 1 Colossus left. The boys are being pulled. And Trigger with this early Colossus move out here, he is breaking through. He's gaining ground. The Prism now arrives. Making his way towards the 3rd base. His 3rd base is completely exposed. Army coming in from behind. Nice repositioning here by Trigger. Going for the warp in. Yeah, the warp in will complete. Colossus does kite back. Prison survives, and this is too much. Yeah, far too much damage here. Again, game 1 was very, very shaky here for Trigger, but here in game 2 and game 3, he actually pulls off his build. He pulls it off. Oh, does it extend? Yeah, Trigger here extends. He has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. But again, Trigger, he killed 40 SCVs. There's 22 SCVs left. There's barely an economy. There's nothing here. There's nothing at the natural. There's only mules. The only mules remaining. And Trigger, he's qualifying. Again, Cure was favored. He was favored to make it into GSL, but no, instead a Trigger. Kills the third base. Kills the expansion. And behind this Trigger, he has a booming economy. He's on 4 bases. He's calming down, backing off, building up more Colossus. And again, after a very shaky game 1, he's locked in for game 2 and 3. He's locked in, pappy. Again, barely pulling off that Colossus timing. Breaks Cure. And now Cure is all in. At this point, he's completely all in. Remember, he has 21 SCVs. Like, he has no economy back. He's got 21 workers. He's got under a 1 base economy, 1 base saturation. Rotor goes down. Every unit counts. Ooh, Cure going for a split push. Bold move. Yeah, very bold. And Trigger will scout this. Does scout the rotation. Trigger's aware. As Trigger splits up his army. Trigger's almost maxed. Remember, Cure, he never re-expanded, and Cure never made an ACV. So again, he's all in. It's just completely a 2-base all in here from Cure, or 1-base all in even. Drops into the main base. Gets some probe kills. Likewise, the main armies do clash as well, but again, Trigger, he has more than enough. Trigger, he will lose a couple of Colossus to the Vikings, but he still overwhelms the army. Takes down the Marauders, takes down the Marines. And he's doing it. GG gets called, and Trigger, he will qualify for GSL. GG. Hi. GG, well played. Again, a very shaky game 1. A very shaky game 1. Like, game 1 was brutal to see Trigger lose the first Colossus, to see him lose momentum. Cure, he honestly had a really easy time in that first game, but coming in game 2 and game 3, we saw somewhat crisper builds, some crisper Colossus timings, and Cure struggling to keep up with those Colossus. If you remember, in game 2, Cure was caught out in the open. Cure, he was caught with his pants down out in the open, out on Tourmaline, and he got punished for it. Here in game 3 on White Rabbits, we saw that we actually went for a bit of an earlier push, moving out without any Prism with 3 Colossus instead. Went for a 3rd Colossus instead of the War Prism, and with that Trigger, he found an opening. He got into the high ground, outpositioned his opponents. GG. And with that Trigger, he will make it through into GSL. Cure, he's going to be knocked down to the last chance qualifier. That last chance qualifier, and with that we have 1 series left, 1 qualifying match remaining here in the first round. It is going to be a best of 3 between Shin and Bunny. Remember, Shin barely went down to Maru earlier. Now he's up against the Bunny.